Free agency is on and running in the NFL, and the New Orleans Saints promised they would be active, and they have been active. Now, at this point, y'all know my feelings on where the Saints are as an organization, and really, it's the same feeling that everyone I've seen that covers the team feels, but the Saints don't feel it. The Saints just keep on rocking and rolling. And I was hopeful, based on last year's free agent lack of activity, that the Saints were entering a new phase in their organizational growth where they were going to decide, we're going to pull back, we're not going to spend quite as much money, we're going to let some of these older contracts come off the books, and then we'll be a little bit more aggressive when we have a better team and a less expensive team. And they haven't gone nuts this offseason. Let's not mischaracterize it. They have not gone nuts. They've just been a little bit more active than I thought they would be. And so I think it's time now, after I was kind of gone for a week, to assess what I've seen. We're not going to go over every single signing, but the ones that have caught local headlines, we'll go ahead and get to those. The baseline of what I'm looking for here is, does this signing first have the ability to help the next really good Saints team? And second, does this signing potentially hinder the Saints' ability to better the next good team? That makes sense? Like, it's either going to help or this could be something that really hurts. Both of those things are what you're looking for, one on the positive side, one on the negative side. Chase Young, they signed to a 3-year deal up to $57 million. This, I think, is great because Chase Young, although the sacks were not there this year, you look at all the other metrics, the pass rush win rate, the QB pressures, those types of things, he was an effective player. Not a dominant player, not a statistically overwhelming player, but an effective player who is 25 years old at a premium position, and you're getting him for up to $57 million, less than $20 million a year, for a position you've got to have if you're going to be good. So I'm good with the signing of Chase Young. It's not absurdly expensive. It's not near what Myles Garrett's getting, not near what Trey Hendrickson's going to get. And you're not getting that kind of production, so it makes sense. But I'm okay with the Chase Young signing because he's 25 years old. He's got a chance to be on the next really good Saints team. You signed Isaac Yiadom to a 3-year deal. Now, he's 29, so I don't love this deal. However, it's hard for me to jump up and down and rant and rave over a 3-year, $9 million contract. You were really, really thin at cornerback because you lost out on Paulson Adebo. Marshawn Lattimore is gone. You need corners to play the sport. And Isaac Yiadom is a proven veteran player who's been in New Orleans before, and he's making $3 million a year. Yes, he's a little older than I would want. I'm not petrified of this signing. Even if 2 years from now he's 32 and he's not showing you he can play in training camp or something, like, I'm not going to rant and rave over a $3 million hit. This is fine. So I'm great with Chase Young, okay with Isaac Yiadom. You bring in Will Clapp on a 1-year deal, perfectly fine. Your offensive line is short a lineman at left guard. I don't know what you're going to do at that spot. Potentially Will Clapp can help you there. He's a veteran. He's a pro. Obviously I like Will Clapp because he went to LSU. That doesn't even matter. It's a 1-year deal, fine. You need offensive linemen. They get hurt. I'm all good with it. Justin Reed, 28 years old, 3 years, $31 million. I like it. I think it's a good deal. It's not overly expensive. He's a solid player. He's been with winning organizations. It means a lot for him to come home. He's a great locker room guy. It's not grossly expensive, and I don't think it's a hindrance in terms of your salary cap as you move into years 2 and years 3 of the deal. So I think for the short term, I don't really care how much better he is or isn't than Jordan Howden or Will Harris. That's not my concern in year 1. I'm more so looking a little bit further down the line. He's a solid NFL player, a guy you like to have in the locker room. He can take over for Tyrann Mathieu when Tyrann decides to hang it up, and it's not overly expensive. I'm fine with the Justin Reed signing. So if you're keeping score, love Chase Young, fine with Yiadom, great with Clapp, good with Reed. The Juwan Johnson deal is the one I can't get behind. You signed a 28-year-old converted wide receiver into tight end to a 3-year, $30 million contract. Now, $10 million a year is not breaking the bank for a tight end. There are certainly a lot of tight ends in the NFL. In fact, there are 19 of them that'll make more than that this coming year. But Juwan Johnson's not super productive. He's not super versatile. He's a great dude. But 3-year deal? If you would have told me 1 year, $10 million, great. 2 years, 20, 3 years, 30, no. That's a miss. Too much money, too long-term a deal for a guy that's a very, very average player in the NFL. This is one that I look at and go, you overextended yourself. I realize your tight end room is a little bit in flux. Foster Moreau's in the last year of his deal. He's a very average player. Love Foster too, LSU guy, Jesuit guy, New Orleans, but let's call it what it is. He's an average player. Had some production at the end of the year. He's not bad. Not going to hurt your team, but he's an average player. And Taysom Hill's future is very much in doubt. He's not going to be available for a good portion of this year if he even decides to play at all. So you do need tight ends. And I just don't know that Juwan Johnson is a problem solver here. And it could be that in 2 years, he's a bit of a problem creator. Now, you can off-ramp it, and you got some dead money attached to it. I don't anticipate the Saints are going to do that. But this one I didn't like. I like the shorter deals for this team because, in my estimation, you're still at least a year, probably 2 years away from a really good Saints team. And I don't want to saddle yourself with at a non-premium position, which tight end is, with a low-ceiling player, which Juwan Johnson is, to fork over that cash for a third year. I don't get it. I don't like that deal at all. So, again, I think that most people who have listened to me talk about the Saints would have expected me to rant and rave. Why are you giving guys long-term deals, short, concise deals, cheap, get money off the books, reset things a year from now? And that's how I do feel, but I understand the Saints aren't going to operate that way. So let's evaluate the things that they are doing. I don't have a problem with 4 of these 5 moves. In fact, I really like the Chase Young move. Juwan Johnson's the one where I go, you didn't need to do that. Like, I don't know what Dallin Holker is, and who knows if you re-up Morrow and maybe Taysom Hill comes back, and there is still some flux, but Juwan Johnson is not a good enough player to have committed the resources you have to him there. The big piece to this entire thing, when you start doing math with the salary cap, the biggest piece is when Derek Carr is finally no longer on these books, the whole math changes. Now, whether you sign a veteran quarterback like Carr, like Breeze, that you do have to commit a bunch of money to, or you make a draft pick that hits, either way, you're going to lessen the blow financially from what you paid Carr, theoretically. That's when the math really changes. None of these moves that I just listed through are significant movers on the cap, except Chase Young, who is at a premium position. He's in the prime of his career, and he was productive last year, so I'm fine with it. But the Saints right now have done more than I thought, probably more than I would like. They have not mortgaged their future in the way that they're capable of, let's be frank. They can do that. They haven't done that to this point. So we'll continue to evaluate what the Saints are doing. Justin Reed met with media today and had some interesting things to say. I'm sure Matt will have Ross Jackson on after further review a little bit later to talk about it. But right now, Saints get a B- on what they've done so far. It's not exactly what I would have done, but it's not like they've really hurt themselves to this point in free agency. Hey, it's Hunt. Thanks for watching Hunt on Saints. Before you leave, help us out a little bit. Hit that like button, leave your comments in the section below, and hit that subscribe button so you get all our content right here from Hunt on Saints. We'll see you next time.